Hello friends, and welcome back to my channel. It's me again, Divine Umeh, and if you're new here, thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you subscribe. I'm going to be letting you guys know in this video how to be consistent. Now, I'm not even going to come here in front and be like, oh, this is something that I have mastered and I'm perfect, that's it. I'm now more consistent than ever. Nope. I definitely am not where I used to be last year or 2 years ago. I've evolved so much. I've gotten so much more consistent. And today I'm going to be sharing with you guys some of the tips or some of the practices that I have done that helped me get up to this level of consistency. So without further ado, let's get into these tips.
Life is a winding road, no telling where it goes.
Now, number one thing I'm going to say if you're struggling with consistency is one, find an accountability partner. Now, when I say find an accountability partner, what I mean is find someone who is going to hold you accountable to the things or the goals that you've set for yourself. For instance, like in terms of my YouTube, for instance, I do have an accountability partner. She's also a content creator as well. We kind of just hold ourselves accountable. If we say that Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays are posting days, we have to make sure we post on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And if we do not post on a particular day, then you have to tell the other person why you didn't post and give a valid reason. Now, one thing I found out from that experience or that exercise is that once I start to say, oh, this is why I did not upload today, I was busy sleeping, I'll start listening to myself talk and see how stupid I'm actually sounding like. And I don't ever want to sound that stupid, especially to another person. So it will actually push me to want to achieve my goals to the point where I don't have to explain myself to my accountability partner, if that makes sense. I know you could say, oh, I can do it on my own, I can be accountable to myself. But the thing is, we don't always hold ourselves accountable. We're always so lenient with ourselves. We are so forgiving. We're just like, I'm tired, I'll do it tomorrow. And especially with content creation, right? Where nobody is pointing a gun to your head. If you want to create content, create. If you don't want to create, leave it. Nobody's going to kill you. So you tend to just be very lax and very nonchalant about it, but whereas when you have an accountability partner, someone you actually have to explain to or get permission from, then you actually be able to keep yourself in check. It's just, for instance, like having a gym buddy. Okay, you guys always go to gym every day, and the day you don't want to, if you don't feel like going, the person can actually motivate you to go or make you feel stupid for not going. Okay, so that's kind of why you need an accountability partner in terms of different things. If you want to go on a diet, if you want to start exercising daily, if you want to start posting more consistently on YouTube, if you want to start taking Instagram seriously, I don't know what your goals are that you're trying to be consistent at, but one thing that I know would actually help is having a mastermind or an accountability partner, setting up a mastermind. And when I say mastermind, I got this idea from a book that I'm reading currently. The name of the book is The 16 Laws of Success. It was written by Napoleon Hill. I'm going to tag the book in the description box. In this book, they talk extensively about the mastermind. And what mastermind really means is basically a group of people that share similar interests coming together to kind of just move each other forward, okay? Most of the fraternities, most of the groups that have been formed over time, that is the concept, that is the idea on which those fraternities or groups were created, based on the idea of the mastermind. Because when you add the energies and the strength of people who have similar interests, when they all come together and they put their energy together to motivate one another, talk to one another, bounce ideas off of each other, they move each other forward in the long run, okay? And if you have the time, try and read this book that I recommended. Once you read this book, you really understand the theory of the mastermind, and you really get what I mean when I'm talking about the mastermind. If not, it's just going to sound really foreign to you, but that's what I mean. Another thing that has helped me to stay consistent is putting my eyes on my why. Now, what that means is focusing on my focus. Where do I want to go? Where do I see myself at the end of the year? What are my goals for YouTube? Okay, this year, I want to have 50,000 subscribers at the end of this year. Am I going to get 50,000 subscribers by posting once a week? No. I probably would get it if I post more consistently. That's 3 times a week. So why am I sleeping? Get up and get to work. So always reminding yourself why you started, the reason why you started, where you see yourself in the next 2 months, in the next 3 months, your goals, okay? And sometimes when I find myself sleeping on my goals, I go on Instagram, and that's why it's always good to follow people that actually motivate you, like not just people that are just follow people that actually motivate you. Sometimes I go on Instagram, I see my favorite content creators, I see them creating content, pushing out content back to back. I'm like, what am I doing? Like, why am I sleeping on myself? Okay, and I get up. So one thing you can do is focus on your why. Always remember the reason why you're doing what you're doing. If you know that you want to get admission next year to a good university, Start putting in the work now. Start putting in the extra hours. Start reading. When you remember the school that you are planning to go to, it will motivate you to read more. It will motivate you to do more research. It will motivate you to actually put in a lot more effort. So focus on your why, the reason why you started, okay? And once you focus on your why, not on someone else's why, not on someone else's growth, not on someone else's achievement, not on someone else's consistency. Focus on your own why, and you'll see yourself thriving. Another tip that has helped me is focusing on your battle. Now, notice that I didn't say battles, battle, okay? One thing that I know, one thing I'm going to say about myself is that when I wanted to start being consistent and intentional in my life, I brought out a bunch of 20 things that I wanted to do, and I was like, let me go at all these things at the same time. Guess what? I was only consistent for 1 or 2 days, and on the third day, I was like, Omo, don't be making Jesus, I beg. I know one die. Everybody should free me. Do you get? So I gave up because I was going at different things at the same time. And you're a human being. You're bound to break down. So one thing I'm going to say is narrow down your goals to the particular thing that you want to do. Don't just say, I want to do 20 different things. I want to tackle them head on. No. Take one battle at a time. That's why I said pick your battle. So for instance, I know that my biggest battle is trying to stay consistent on YouTube, just because I have so many other businesses and so many other projects that I'm running, so I cannot 100% give my full attention to YouTube. But at the same time, I still know what deserves more attention. So you have to be honest with yourself. Be honest with yourself, that's one. And pick your battles, okay? Don't try to go at all your goals at the same time. Know which one is more important to you at that particular time, and then focus on that one and start going at it. So if you know that you want to start posting more frequently on, for instance, if you know that you want to grow your Instagram and you want to grow your YouTube, which one is more important to you in the next 1 month? Which growth is more important to you in the next 1 month? You say, oh, it's my Instagram, because I know that if I have more followers on Instagram, then I'll have more sponsors for my YouTube. Fine. Put a pause on YouTube. Put your ultimate focus on Instagram. Now make sure you post every single day. Make sure you're posting your stories. Make sure you're posting your reels. Make sure you're getting on that. And then when you have grown your Instagram up to a point where you're satisfied, you go back on YouTube again. And it doesn't mean that you stopped working on YouTube, or you just were not putting so much strength in YouTube, and then you start to pick up your YouTube. But it's always about picking your battles, knowing which one has the highest priority, prioritizing, and then getting things done. But don't for any reason think that you can tackle everything at the same time. You'll just fall, you'll just fumble. Take it from me, it's happened to me so many times when I thought I could do 10 things at once, and I just all crumbled. So pick your battles and know which one deserves the utmost attention. Now, another thing that's helped me to be consistent is scheduling. I've always hated scheduling. I hate scheduling things. I hate planning things. I just hate it, okay? Because you know why I hate it? I do it, but I hate it because once one thing doesn't go according to my plan, or once I face one tiny feedback, it throws me off balance. I get so agitated, I have major anxiety, I get so confused, and I'm just like, oh my God, I can't do anything. And I'll be so focused on that setback that I won't be able to achieve anything else. That's one thing that put me off from scheduling things. But over time, I've had to unlearn a lot of things, and I actually learned that sometimes scheduling actually helps you to put things into perspective. So if you go through my phone, for instance, you'll see a lot of alarms. I set a lot of alarms. I set a lot of reminders because I currently do not have an assistant. So most of the time, I have to remind myself of every single goal I have, every single thing I have to do. So I'm the one that have to do all the admin work for myself. I have to do all the promotional work. I have to do all the business work. I have to do all the filming. I'm basically doing everything for myself, and I just have a few people who help me every now and then. But one thing that's actually helped me be more consistent is scheduling. I make sure I know that, okay, Wednesdays are for filming videos, Fridays are for editing videos, Saturdays are for hanging out with my family, and I just schedule and plan out my life. I have reminders on my phone. I have reminders for every single thing, every single bill I need to pay. I have it scheduled. This is not something I used to do before, okay? So I'm not even going to come here and say what I used to. No, I recently just started doing this, and let me tell you guys, it's a game changer, okay? Another thing I'm going to say, I know this is going to sound very confusing, but I'm gonna simplify it. That is, ignore your feelings. I wish someone told me this when I was younger, but nobody did, so now I'm telling you, okay? Ignore your feelings. Now, when I say ignore your feelings, I'm not saying that you should not listen to your body, or, don't pay attention to what your mind is telling you, but basically is that sometimes you can feel tired, sometimes you can feel bored, sometimes you can feel unmotivated. These feelings are necessary, but it's also important to remind yourself of your why and get to work. Ignore those feelings of boredom, ignore those feelings of tiredness. Just start, okay? One thing that's helped me is the 5-second rule. Whenever I want to do something and I'm feeling all those feels and I'm in my feelings a lot, I do the 5-second rule. And what that is just counting down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And immediately I count 5, I have to get up and do whatever I have in mind to do. And I start to do that thing for 5 minutes. And if for 5, if I start it for 5 minutes and I'm still not into it, then I let it go. But if I get into it the other 5 minutes, and I keep going. Okay, so this is something that's also helped me as well, the 5-minute rule. I think I have a book that speaks about that, but I can't remember the book right now. If I do, I will link it in the description box so that you guys can read that book as well and learn a lot about the 5-second rule. Okay, but basically what I'm trying to say in terms of ignoring your feelings is that even when your body is telling you that it's tired, or you need to stay in bed, or you need to get more sleep, or you need to snooze your alarm, ignore those feelings, get up and get to work. Okay, I'm not saying you should not be attentive to your body's needs, but when you know that you're just like, when you know you're just, you know in your mind that you're just cruising, okay, like, you know, you're honest with yourself, you know that you're just cruising, get up, practice the 5 seconds rule, and get to work. Last but not the least, something that I wish, I'm tired of saying this, but I actually did wish that someone told me this, but the last tip I'm going to give you guys is that don't beat yourself up when you do not achieve your goals. Now that is something that I used to do. I don't know, I've been very vocal on this channel about my journey with perfectionism and how much of a perfectionist I am, and I always tend to beat myself up. If something doesn't come out perfectly the way that I expected or the way that I want it, I'm going to sulk about it for the next 1 hour, and to anybody who cares to listen, okay? And I'll be so hell-bent and focused on that particular thing that I won't be able to achieve anything else, okay? So I always beat myself up. If I set an alarm for 7 o'clock and I end up waking up at 9, I'm going to spend from 9 o'clock to 12 o'clock hating myself for not waking up at 7, and by 12 o'clock I'm feeling depressed that the whole day is gone, and before you know it, the whole day is going to go without me actually doing anything. Okay, so one thing that I wish someone told me is that don't beat yourself up. You're a human being, okay? You're not a machine. You're not programmed to get things done. If, for instance, you fall behind schedule, or you could not meet up due to some factors, don't beat yourself up. Pick up from wherever you left off and keep going. Our lives are basically a reflection of like our friends and our peer groups and people that we surround ourselves with. So make sure to surround yourself with people that are going to motivate you to achieve your goals, and in that way you will see yourself progressing, okay? And that is like the final advice I'm going to be giving you guys. I hope that these tips were able to help you in your consistency journey. I'm also struggling with consistency, but these are some tips that have helped me along the way to bring me up until this stage, and I'm sure these tips will also be of great help to you as well. So if you have any other tips that helps you to be consistent, please let me know in the comment section, and maybe you could help somebody as well who is also struggling. Maybe you can even help me as well. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you like this video, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Thank you so much for watching, and till next time, bye.